This is what a language sounds like to me when it's not my language. Fast, right? Unrecognizable, right? Well, it was unrecognizable anyway. Even if they had been real words, it would have been too fast to be recognizable. Anyway, I think that's why non-native English speakers think that they want to speak English quickly. Since English isn't their native language, it sounds very fast. Every language that I don't speak sounds fast to me. So this is what we see on YouTube about speaking fast. How to speak fast English. How to speak fast English like an American. How to speak and understand fast English like native speakers. And why? If you do speak English as quickly as some native English speakers, no one will understand you. And by thinking that you have to speak English quickly, I think it sets you up for failure. And I know that you don't want to fail, right? You want to succeed. This just happened to me the other day. I had been sick, so I had to talk with my health insurance company, and the representative who helped me was a non-native English speaker. And I wasn't feeling well. I had no energy, and he was speaking so fast that I couldn't understand him. I couldn't understand him. I had to ask him to repeat everything that he said. I wanted to advise him to slow down, but I didn't want to insult him, and he wasn't my client looking for tips. So I didn't feel comfortable saying anything about it, but I had to keep asking him to repeat himself. He still didn't slow down. I had to keep asking him to repeat himself. His words might have been correct, and he was very nice, but at the moment, all I cared about was being able to understand him. And as I was the customer, and he was supposed to have been helping me and making me feel taken care of, but instead I was just feeling anxious because I couldn't understand him, and I felt even worse because I was sick. And the whole thing made me feel badly because I wanted to be happy for him that he was speaking English as well as he was. And I was sure that he had put a lot of time and effort into speaking English well. But I was just so frustrated because I couldn't understand him. And that's all I cared about in the moment. All he needed to do to speak English in a way that would have helped me to understand him and in a way that would have made him do a better job was to slow down, to do his job effectively. He really just needed to slow down. I think he was doing everything else right, but he just needed to slow down, not speed up, slow down. I thought about all the millions of YouTube views for videos that promote speaking fast English, and I realized that I wanted to say something about it. Nothing against the video creators who are making videos about speaking fast English. I suppose they're giving people what they think they want. But I want you to know that speaking English quickly is not the solution that you think it is. More than speaking quickly, people need to understand you. And if you speak English with an accent, chances are that when you speak English very quickly, people won't understand you. And if people don't understand you, your communication is not successful. And when your communication is not successful, you aren't successful. You don't need to speak English like everyone else to be successful. You just need to speak English in a way that people can understand you. Speak with your unique accent at a pace that allows you to be understood by everyone else who's speaking English. Some non-native English speakers lose their accent, their native accent, but most don't. If you speak English quickly with an accent, you make it difficult for people to understand you. Some people speak more quickly when they're nervous, and some people speak quickly all the time because they have a lot of energy and they do everything quickly. I have a client like that. She's brilliant. She has a very quick mind and she has a very advanced vocabulary. And still, for her colleagues to understand her, she needed to slow down. She had to speak more slowly. So we worked on that together. She didn't slow down the next day just because she was aware of it. It took some practice, but with practice, she changed how she was communicating. She slowed down, her energy shifted, and people are understanding her much more easily. Not only that, but she's so happy about the change in her communication style, and she's really noticing and enjoying the difference that it's making in her life. So I'm really happy for her. And that's what I want you to feel, the feeling of satisfaction that comes with knowing that you're communicating in a way that others respond well to, and that your successful communication is contributing to your overall success. That's what you want, right? Overall success. It's a worthwhile challenge and a worthwhile goal. It's so much bigger and more important than just thinking that you need to speak more quickly. I'm Rebecca Carlin. I'm a native English speaker from Connecticut in the United States. My business is called Perfect Business English. I know no one is perfect, but as Vince Lombardi said, if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence. And we're shooting for excellence, right? In the online course, we talk about how to make your point in business in the most professional way possible, how to stop making common English mistakes in business, how to improve your business communication skills, how to improve your use of prepositions. There are so many of them. And there's so much opportunity to make mistakes with them. So we spend some time on that. How to talk about yourself in an interview, how to use the words do and make correctly, and how to build successful business relationships in English, and more. And for the one-on-one coaching, we use the online course as a framework, and then we customize the program to fit your needs. So if that sounds good to you and you'd like to learn more, just click the link in the video description that goes to my Perfect Business English website, and be sure to watch the short video that's on the website. I'm sure that you'll find it informative, and it will also take you to the next step. So this is what I was thinking. This is what I think is happening. There are several videos on YouTube about speaking fast English, and only some of that comes from people who are searching for that information. And the rest of it is coming from YouTube creators who see that there are millions of views about speaking fast English, and they're making more videos about it. I believe in the hopes that they'll get millions of views for their videos. And I know you could say the same thing about me, but I'm really saying that I don't think that you should be speaking fast English. I don't think that you should be speaking English quickly. Anyway, as a result, you see all the videos about fast English, and I think that that makes you think that it's important for you to do it with your English. It looks like it's important for you to speak English quickly. I'm not saying don't watch them, and no offense to the creators. I trust that they're doing their best, and they're doing what they believe is right. They have their reasons. But I want to tell you the truth about your English and give you advice that will serve you well in the real world. I focus on business English, and part of helping people with their business English is helping with their communication style. It isn't enough to speak English. To speak English in a way that improves your business and your life, it helps to focus on a variety of factors like your speed, speaking clearly, your pronunciation, making your point, building relationships, and tips that you can use to elevate your English to make it appropriate and effective in business. You know, speaking English correctly without focusing on speaking very quickly is much easier than trying to figure out all the little tricks to turn your English into what you think will make you sound like a native English speaker. You won't sound like a native English speaker, and that's okay. Okay, some non-native speakers are able to replicate American speech exactly, but most don't. And when they try to, they make all the mistakes that native English speakers make, and it doesn't sound good. Not only does it not sound good, it's difficult to understand, and it definitely doesn't sound professional. If you focus on fast English instead of focusing on clear communication, clear pronunciation, you'll get less of what you want, not more. I'm sure that you'd like to understand native English speakers more easily, and if that's the case, it would make sense for you to understand what they're doing with their words to make them sound the way they sound and to make their speech sound so much faster. But that does not mean that you should do the same thing with your English. You can understand it without copying it. I think your English would be much more effective if you slow down, speak clearly, and make your overall communication and relationships your priority. If you do that, you'll be well on your way to speaking English in a way that earns the respect of English speakers around the world. But you may say, shouldn't I do it because other people are doing it? And to that, I say, no. When has it ever been a good idea to do something that everybody is doing just because they're doing it? Besides good deeds, of course. You know, the teenagers used to say, but my friends are doing it. And the parents would say, if they told you to jump off a bridge, would you do that too? Of course, the teenagers never liked that response. So, my best advice is that you speak English more slowly, and I say that with your best interests at heart. You can speak English slowly and you can get used to it, whether you have an accent or not. I know you can. And just watch what happens. Really watch what happens and feel how great it feels to be understood and appreciated for what you're saying and for how you're saying it. People will be able to understand you. If you slow down when you speak English, people won't have to ask you to repeat yourself. They'll understand you. They'll appreciate you. Don't you like knowing that?